Have you heard about this documentary, Quiet on the Set?
No.
All right, so it's on HBO or Max or whatever it's called.
Did they change it? Max? HBO Max?
It's just Max now.
Okay.
Anyways, it's basically a 4-part expose on, Drake from Drake and Josh?
Oh, dude, he's gotten all sorts of stuff.
Dude.
He's like the kind of pedophile kind of situation?
No. What do you mean? What do you think?
No, he went to jail for exploiting children.
No.
Right? That's what they say.
No.
No, he did though. He went to jail.
He got probation or something.
But he was charged for that. He was texting. He was texting
a girl,
underage girls.
Yeah, he was texting a girl or something. But no,
Yeah.
Do you know what happened to him?
No, I don't know. I'm telling you what the mainstream media has told me, so I'm curious.
One of the the mainstream media told me this too.
Here we go.
I know.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what my conspiracy theory is about.
Oh, okay.
The documentary basically tells the story from Drake's perspective.
Is he actually narrating this?
He's in it.
Okay.
I mean, he doesn't narrate it, but he's interviewed in it a lot. Basically, there was, I think the guy was a script advisor or a script coach or something. And this dude just straight up did unspeakable things to Drake when he was a kid. Then this is before Drake and Josh. This is when he was on the Amanda Show.
Oh, wow. I didn't know he was on that.
So anything that you've seen of Drake and Josh, that was post him being like, all these terrible things.
Wow.
Every horrible thing imaginable. This guy, Brian Peck, was the guy's name. And
Brian Peck is Drake, or that's the guy who did the
Brian
bad
Peck
things?
is the guy who did the bad things to Drake Bell. And so the whole documentary is just kind of explaining how the guys in charge at Nickelodeon, like the gross stuff they would put into these skits, hoping that they would get away with it, and like these sexual jokes and stuff. And all this stuff was also going on behind the scenes, and it was completely disgusting. But I think part of it, anyways, let me start here first. This guy only got like a few years in jail. He ended up getting out of jail and then worked on The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. So Disney hired him after he got
Yeah, exactly. All right. That's all we needed to know.
Isn't that crazy?
That's just unapologetically, he comes out, they just hire him.
Yeah. It was
It's
wild.
insane.
So before I finished the documentary, I was telling Kelly, I was like, I think this is a situation where these kids, now that they have their own platforms, this didn't used to happen back in the day because, Shirley Temple, she wrote a book when she got old and explained all the horrible things that happened to her. But these kids can go out and just like say, this is what's going on. So
there's more risk for somebody doing something bad to them.
Right. But it still happens.
Yeah.
And they did this stuff before. This stuff happened in the early 2000s when the internet was in its infancy.
Yeah.
Okay. So now everybody's got their own platform. Everybody's got their own, they're all influencers now or whatnot. They can come out and say, don't trust these companies, like the things that they do to kids. So now that puts these companies in this weird position where for all of existence, as long as they've been around, it's like, look, this is just what happens, okay? And we all just agree it's okay. One of the moms on that was on set with her son on all that, they basically fired him because the mom was always on set saying like, you guys know that this is like a double meaning, right? Like this is a sexual joke. And she said the attitude was always, it's fine. And if you always have, have you ever had a situation like that where like there's a joke happening and everybody is just acting like it's normal?
Yeah.
And maybe it's not like a sexual joke or something, but it's just, it makes you feel a little weird, but nobody else is reacting like it's weird. So you think, okay, well, I guess that is kind of funny.
Yeah.
But then if one person says, no, that's bad,
it kind of breaks everything.
It breaks the illusion or whatever.
Yeah.
But in this case, they just fired the kid because the mom was like being poo-pooing the set.
Interesting.
And so all this, so for so long, Nickelodeon and the people in charge, it was just like, yeah, come on, this is what it is. And and everybody says, well, look, it has to go through standards and practices. It wasn't I wrote it, but they had to approve it. Well, yeah, because they're perverts too.
And then you have some lone mom trying to this whole bureaucracy. It's like, look, you just leave.
My theory is that now that this stuff is coming out, they have to have a fall guy.
Oh, so it's this guy.
Yeah, and not that he's not disgusting and didn't do all these horrible. Obviously, he did, and he should still be in jail. I'm just saying that it goes deeper than just this guy. Mm-hmm. And they talk about like 2 other guys too. But it's like Nickelodeon.
Now we solved it. We got rid of them.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's why they okayed this being made.
Yeah, well, I don't think Nickelodeon didn't. This was, but it's like at the point where there's a Max documentary about it. that gets all this funding or what. It's not just like, you know, the things that show up on these like Netflix documentaries. They're not making anybody in the establishment unhappy. It's not like he's like, how dare this can't get out there that Netflix made a true crime documentary that really told the story.
Yeah,
you know, they're all getting the funding and all this stuff. So it's like, it's interesting now. It's like that point where the truth becomes so obvious that they can't hide it anymore. So they just kind of have to mitigate the damage. And it's like, it was that guy, and it was that showrunner. They were the bad apples. We're good.
That makes sense.
That's how it feels to me. So I've been encouraged. I mean, not encouraged. This is a very sad thing that's happening. But I've been encouraged that other actors and actresses have that were not on Nickelodeon, that were on Disney or other channels, have come out and said this wasn't just a Nickelodeon thing.
Okay.
Like this stuff happened everywhere too, where everybody just felt like, and if it wasn't like specific, like, oh, kids were being violated. It was like the adults were putting us in situations that we were uncomfortable with, and we were all told, no, this is just normal.
Yeah.
And
you can definitely get that feeling watching old Nickelodeon shows.
And it makes you feel gross and dirty watching the documentary, because they're showing these clips and it's like
just one after the other of all the weird
and it's like
meanings.
What's funny is, you know, we just watched the game shows growing up. We didn't watch the other
Double
shows.
Dare,
right.
Temple.
So I didn't know.
No.
And so it's just funny. It's like, thank you, Mom and Dad, for
they had that gut feeling sense of like,
something's weird about this. Something's weird about this. So, anyways,
well, even if you go back and watch Drake and Josh, which is a hilarious show, if you go watch that, it's everywhere.
Oh,
like the whole thing is just this weird kind of like sexual fantasy. Like of the whole the entire show, it's all it is.
That's what they say. It's like these guys had these weird
hey, let's get these kids to talk about.
Dude,
that's what it felt like.
It's gross.
And
man.
I told Sarah that I was like, I don't remember this show being like this. Yeah, but it was. Yeah,
it was in your brain, even if you didn't know it, but your brain did.
Exactly.
That's what they always say on Red Letter Media. You didn't catch it, but your brain did.